So hello everyone, welcome to Triaright. This is back 365. Myself Sujit. So in this session, we are going to learn the second pillars of OOPS, that is called our inheritance. So in this session, we are going to learn how the inheritance will going to work in our real time. Also how to create the inheritance logic using our OOPS concept. Then what is the different types of inheritance that's available in our Python. Each and everything we are trying to discuss now. Okay. So now first our requirement will be first we are trying to understand what is inheritance. So guys, inheritance is nothing but it is acquiring the properties from one class to another class. Means whenever we are trying to discuss the inheritance, we need minimum two class because we are trying to acquiring. Acquiring means we are trying to inheriting something. Now suppose if I'm trying to give an example that suppose my requirement will be I want to take two classes and inside these classes, okay, I will be creating some variables. Okay, inside this variable I need to use the particular variable in a other class. So at that time I can use this inheritance. Also, if I try to take the example of our real time, also if you are taking your generation example, means your grandfather, then father, then you, just like it will be inheritance, means you are acquiring the property from your parents. Okay, so if somebody says that what is the name, then you can give your surname, that you are acquiring that particular things. So just like that, here also inheritance says that acquiring the properties from one class to another class, this is called our inheritance. So here whenever we try to create the inheritance, we need two classes. Okay, the classes are the class from where we take the properties. Suppose here first I just try to create two classes. First I will be create class for parent, and here I'm just try to take two variables. Okay, I'm not creating the properties and all, I'm just try to explain through the common data. Okay, means the common variable. Okay, so as of now we are trying to create one class. Again I'm just trying to create one more class, that is called our child. Okay, inside this child also I need to create two more variables. So here I'm taking var3 equal to 30 and var4 equal to 40. So as of now, we are just trying to require, I need to acquiring all the property from my parent class. So the class from where we take all the properties, those are called parent class or base class. Okay, means we are trying to acquiring all the property. Means in Python, we can say that this class will be treated like a parent class or base class. Then what about this class? The class which take the properties are child class. Means this class will be takes the property from here, and this upper class, or we can say that this parent class will be keep that particular things, right? So now as of now we are not inheriting, means we are just trying to write. So how to make that particular two class inheriting? Then where we were trying to take the classes, means my requirement will be I want to take the class from parent. We are trying to come to my child class. In the parenthesis, I need to write the parent class name, means my parent class name will be parent. So now my two class becoming inheriting. Now if I'm trying to create object for my child, I can access both the variable, because here we are trying to inheriting the property by the help of our inheritance. So now here I'm just trying to create an object. So how to create an object? First you need to give your object name, then here you need to provide your class name. After providing, now if my requirement will be I want to print the var3, also the var2. We know that we are just trying to create object for my child, but I will be accessing the var2 from my parent class. So here it will be possible or not, because we are trying to use the inheritance. If I try to remove the inheritance, we are trying to see now. So now to access any variable, or we can say that any property from class, we have two options. One called our class reference and another called our object reference. So here we are just try to write var3 dot. Okay, so here we are need the var3. So here we are using the object reference. So here first we are trying to write object1 dot my var3. Okay, now if I try to run this one, it will be give me the output as 30 as my output, because we can directly access. Now, if I try to access the var2 from my parent, so here also we are try to use the same object reference obj1.var2. Okay, now if I try to run this one, it also possible. Why? Because the controller first check for the child class. Whenever it take check for var2, here it will be not finding, then it will be checking this class will be inheriting or not. So here it will be find that you are inheriting from parent class. So here it will be directly come to my parent class. When it's find that particular variable or the property, it will display that thing. Okay, so this is the way we can deal with our inheritance. So now we are just try to write all the theoretical points. Then we are just try to discuss the different types of inheritance that's available. Okay, so guys, then in the interview they might be asking what is the advantages of this inheritance. So guys, the advantages will be it is used to our reuse the code. How it will be reuse the code? So guys, just see, as of now we are just trying to create the properties, or we can say that the common property or uncommon property. Suppose if I try to create the functionality also, means creating methods, so we don't need to write the same code again and again. If my requirement will be I want to create a method here called my withdrawal, so here again in the child class I don't need to write that withdrawal code, means I'll just try to inheriting, because it will be acquiring all the property. Also guys, the next advantages will be it will be make the code easier to maintain, because only in the one class you are just try to write. If the error will be going to happen, you are only checking for that. Okay, suppose if I try to give a one more real-time example, suppose if I try to take a two classes. Okay, first one called our animal, my parent class, then you can take a another subclass called our dog, means the animal will be parent class and the dog will be our, we can say that child class, means dog will be inheriting the property from my animal class. Okay, so now we are just try to write all the theoretical point. Okay, so guys, if you are facing any interview, also if you are write any project code, also every time we are just using this inheritance, because inheritance is must whenever you are try to write any code. Okay, so what is inheritance? So inheritance says that it is acquiring, okay, it is acquiring the property, acquiring the properties from one class to another class. Okay, so we can say that acquiring the property from one class to another class, we can say that this is called our inheritance. Then the next point, the class from where, the class from where take we take the properties. Okay, from where we try to take all the properties, those are called parent class. Okay, parent class or base class, base class or super class. Or okay, so you can say either parent class, base class or super class. Then the next point, the class which take the property, here it will be the class from we take the property, we can say. Then the class which take the property. Okay, so the class which takes the properties, okay, the class which take the properties are called child class or subclass or derived class. Okay, so this is all about our theoretical points that's available when in the interview going to ask what is inheritance. Then now we are just trying to write the what is the advantages? Okay, so advantages will be, okay, the first advantages is it is used to reuse the code. Okay, to reuse the code. Then what is reuse means no need to write, okay, no need to write the same code again and again. Okay, now the next point will be, okay, to make code easier and maintain. Okay, to make code easier, okay, easier. So here I am writing to make the code easier and maintain. Okay, easier and maintain and extend also, because we can use any class. Suppose if I'm trying to create one more class also, I'm just trying to derive that particular things, guys, right? So this is all about our advantages and theoretical points that's available. Then now we are trying to discuss what is the different type of inheritance that's available. So guys, in Python we have 5 types of inheritance. Okay, so we have five types of five types of inheritance. Okay, the 5 types are, first one called our single level inheritance, then second one called our multi-level, okay, multi-level inheritance, third one called our multiple inheritance. Okay, so I'm just trying to copy every time the inheritance will be same. Okay, so now the fourth one will be hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. So hierarchical inheritance. So guys, each and everything we are just trying to discuss in-depth knowledge. Okay, how the each and everything will be differ for everyone, each and everything. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so the last one will be called our hybrid inheritance. Okay, so these are the 5 different types of inheritance that's available. So now for each and everything we are trying to discuss in-depth knowledge. Okay, so now we are just try the first one called our single level inheritance. So guys, what is single level inheritance means? Inheriting the property and the functionality from one parent class to child class. Suppose if I'm trying to take a diagrammatical representation, so guys just see, here I'm taking one parent class and also I am taking one child class. Means inheriting the property means here I am just try to creating some property, means the common property as well as the uncommon property, or we can say that functionality also, from one single parent class to single child class. Then at that time we can say that this is called our single level inheritance. So here also we are already dealing with our example of our single level inheritance. Means here we are just try to use one class, and from this class we are trying to inheriting to only one class. So this is known as our single level inheritance. So now I just try to write the theoretical part. So here I am writing inheriting, okay, inherit. So inherit the properties, okay, inherit the property from properties and functionality from one parent class to one child class. Okay, one parent class to one child class. This is called our single level inheritance. Okay, class is called our single level inheritance. Okay, so we are already write the same example, so we are not writing the same. Then we try to discuss the next one called our multi-level inheritance. So guys, what is multi-level inheritance? Now we are trying to focus. Okay, so come to our next one called our multi-level inheritance. So whenever we try to dealing with this multi-level means inheriting the properties and functionality from one child class to another child class. Okay, we are trying to inheriting from one child class to another child class. We are not discussing about the parent class, means we are just trying to inheriting from one child to another child. So if I try to represent through our diagrammatically, just see. So here I'm trying to take three example, okay, means three classes. So here I'm trying to take one called our grandparent, then here I'm using one called our parent, then next one will be called our child. So here I'm just try to inheriting from one child to another child, because as of now this parent will be parent for this child class, and for this child this is called our grandparent. Okay, so here we can say that inheriting the property from one child class to another child class, this is called our multi-level inheritance. So now we are just trying to write the same code for this one. So here I'm just trying to comment this one. So here we are need minimum three classes. Okay, so first I need to create one class called our A. Okay, here I'm just trying to take two variables. So here I'm trying to take var1 called 10 and var2 called 20. Again I'm just trying to create a one more class that is called our B. Then here I need to take two more variable, var3 equal to 30 and var4 equal to 40. Then the next class called our var class C. Okay, so here I need to take var5 equal to 50 and var6 equal to 60. Okay, so as of now we are just creating, but there will be no relationship between. So now we are trying to make it possible. So here how it going to happen? First we come to my class B. Okay, so this class B will be inheriting the property from A. So here I need to write A here. Means from where I need to take the property, I need to write here. And then what about this C? So here I don't need to write the A, I need to write the B, because our multi-label says that inheriting the property from one child to another child, because the B will be treated like a child and C also treated like a child. So here I need to pass my child as my B. So here I am passing B. So now every time we know that every time whenever we are just try to create our object, every time you just need to create the object for our recent child class. So my recent child class will be C. So now I'm just trying to create object. So here after giving the object name, now we are just trying to give the class name. So my class name will be C now. So now I just want to access all the value, means here I am trying to access the var5. From this B class, I need to access the var3. And for this class A, I need to access the var1. Okay. So by the help of our object reference, or we can say that class reference also, but every time we are just try to use the object reference. So obj1 dot var5. Okay, then I need the var3 and var1 also. So that's why I'm just trying to copy. Okay, so here I'm writing var3 and var1. So now how the controller will going to work? Every time it will be taking the same. First it will be take the class name. Then after getting the class name, first it will be inheriting that particular class. Then if here it will be not finding that property, then it will be checking this class will be inheriting or not. If it's inheriting, then it will be come to that particular inheriting class. So here B, it will be checking and it will be displaying with 30. Then here it will be checking for 1. So where 1 will be not available in case of our class C. Also in case of our class B also it will be not available. This where 1 will be available in our grandparent class, because till here the controller will be not finding. Then here it will be again check this class B will be inheriting from where or not. So here it will be finding that the class B will be inheriting from our class A. So here it will be again come to my class A. So here it will be find my var1. So here it will be displaying the output. Okay. So the controller every time it will be checking for my recent class, then it will be checking the inheriting or not. Okay. So now I'm just trying to write the theory point. So multi-level inheritance says that inherit, okay, inherit the properties, inherit is the property and functionality from one child class, okay, from one child class to another child class, okay, another child class, we can say that multi-level inheritance. Okay, now the next one will be multiple inheritance. So how the multiple inheritance will be going to work, now we are just try to see now. So first come to my diagrammatically. Okay, so here the diagrammatically representation of our multiple inheritance will be, so here it will be saying that inherit the properties and the functionality from two or more parent class. Means to create a multiple inheritance we need minimum two. Okay, if you are creating three also it's okay. Means minimum we need to create two parent class. So here it will be saying that inherit the properties and functionality from two or more parent class to a single child class. Means we are only taking a one single child class. So this type of inheritance we can say that multiple, means it will be inheriting from multiple parent class, and this is called our multi-level, from one level to one. Okay, so now we are just try to deal with our example, then we need to write the theoretical point. Okay, so now we are just try to create the class and everything. So how it going to happen, now we are just try to see now. So first we are try to create three classes, or we can say that four classes, because here we are try to need minimum two. Okay, so here I'm to write class parent 1. Okay, so as of now I don't want to create that much variable, so here I'm creating var1 called 10. Again I'm just try to create class parent 2. Here I'm just try to take var2 equal to 20. Then class parent 3, here I am taking var 3 equal to 30. Okay, then here I am taking class child, and here I need to inherit that particular thing. So var 4 equal to 40, here I need to assigning var 3. Okay, so as of now there will be no connection between all these classes. So now my requirement will be, first I need to make a connection. So here it will be tell me that inherit the property from two or more. So here we are just try to write the same thing. So now for this child class we need to pass all the parent class. So here I need to write parent 1 comma parent 2 comma parent 3. So as of now my child class will be acquiring the property from three or more parent class. Okay, so now I just want to create the object. So here I'm creating object 1, and for the recent child one will be called our child. Okay, so now I'm just trying to access all the property. So here I need to write obj1 by the help of our object reference. So here I need to write, okay, so every time I just need to try var1, then for all the four variable I need to access. So every time I'm doing the same thing, I'm just try to copy. Okay, so here I'm changing var3 and var4. Now if I try to run this code, so how the controller will going to work, now we are trying to see now. So every time we are know that first it will become to my recent child class, after it will be give the that. First, we are trying to print for var1. So here it will be searching for var1. So in my child class, var1 will be not that. So here it will be checking this child class will be inheriting from any parent class or not. So here it will be find three parent class. So here it will be checking for each and every parent class, from where it will be finding the var1 for the first parent. So here it will be displaying the output. So the controller will going to execute like this. Okay. Now we are just try to write the theory point for this inheritance. So here the third one called our multiple inheritance. Okay. So multiple inheritance. So it says that inherit the properties. Okay. Inherit the properties from two or more parent class, two or more parent class to a single child class. So at that time we can say that this will be treated like our multiple inheritance. So guys, that's all for this session. In the upcoming session, we are trying to discuss what is our hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Okay. So that's all for this session. Thanks for watching Triaright.